Hey, it's Chris and Brian here from Resolve Technology, and today Chris is going to talk about the Windows 11 Moment 5 update. I don't understand exactly why they keep calling this Moment, but anyway, I think it's, what is it, 23H2 on Windows 11? Is that the actual, like, more
Um,
technical name?
that's the latest version, yeah, 23H2. But it's rolling out for people. If you're still on 22H2, they can still get this update. They're still on that like service pack, I guess you could say. The 23, those abbreviations, just like the feature update.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so if you look at that screenshot that Chris has up on the screen for Windows Update, you see in order to get this latest update, you'd have to have the radio switch on in order to do that. And some companies, if that's grayed out like it is for us, some companies want you on a patching schedule, so they might not want you on the latest and greatest because they're afraid it's going to break something. So,
Yeah, they do targeted releases, some of them. And you might see like, updates are handled by your organization. You might see red text at the top there too, saying, they'll set a target version of Windows and stay on that until, further notice.
which
Um,
doesn't mean which doesn't mean that you're not getting your security updates and things. That when you switch on that radio button, that's about like feature updates like this, like cool new features and things like that. So maybe you talk about some of the features that it has in there, Chris.
So yeah, the big one, it does have new Copilot abilities, something for OpenTable and Instacart. You can make your dinner reservation. It's all, integrating you into the Windows environment more and more, I guess. I haven't really used Instacart or Copilot with Instacart or anything like that, but they're
Um,
also they're also doing some AI enhanced Clipchamp and Photos features, so you can edit photos and videos easier. The big one though for me was this this widget one I'll come back to, but these new enterprise features. So one of the features was, let me try to find Windows AutoPad. So some cloud service they're now offering where it handles the rollout of Windows 365 apps for enterprise, Microsoft Edge, and Teams updates to enrolled devices. And it's going to utilizing some sort of machine learning to determine when patches should be installed on a device and at what time. And I get, the focus here is to easing the burden on IT departments. In my opinion, there's plenty of, ways of automating those kind of updates already. So, I mean, I'm curious to how this works differently than just using, something like Business Premium and Intune.
yeah, I agree with you, Chris, because we figured out ways to do it so it doesn't get in the way of employees and things like that. But I could see where this might be valuable, where what we see a lot is like laptops or tablets where, they're off and on constantly and sometimes they're not shut down. And, if this could sense some of that, we have trouble ourselves, even though it's like scripted, getting that stuff in at just the right time. So, yeah, I could see that being valuable if they could somehow figure that out.
Yeah. Well, if the computer's off, it's not going to be, you know what I
Right. If the
mean?
computer's
So,
off or you just shut the lid like most people do, then,
yeah.
yeah, you have trouble.
Other feature here that stood out was so the new intelligent snap suggestions. I'm glad they're improving this because there was a few bugs in earlier versions where you can see on the top right, you hover over here. I don't think I have this new snap suggestion, but if I hover over here, so like, see, it got a bunch of different layouts. If I wanted only on like one quadrant of the screen, if I want it like, only like a, split in half and have two browser tabs side by side,
Just click
you
on
could
that real quick, Chris, for the people
say,
that might not
yeah,
have used it before. So yeah, just allows you to put browsers side by side or applications side by side like Chris is doing there.
or I could do that.
It's very
And
handy. You used to have to do this in like Windows 10 and Windows 7. You use something that Microsoft built called PowerToy,
oh yeah,
a third party app, but now they've built it into Windows 11. So which is a nice feature.
yeah, this one here. I don't use it much anymore, but
Yeah. So
they
yeah,
also improve casting experience. So screencasting by displaying notifications when you cast your screen in certain applications. And you can have more, it's providing more help in, finding nearby displays or TVs, whatever you're casting. So that might be, you're doing presentations on the device and you need to cast it to a screen.
The other neat thing was this down at the bottom, it says new enterprise features. So more and more people are trying out these cloud PCs, right? Like we have a couple that we use internally, and it says now you can just boot in if it's passwordless, like using Windows Hello or a YubiKey or, some third party piece of hardware token. It just brings you right into, the Windows desktop, which is, kind of cool because, it's one of the things we run into. People are, they have multi-factor on their phone, or there's all these hoops to jump through. But I think it's just a matter of time before we totally get rid of passwords and using biometrics or a third-party token. It just makes life easier.
Yeah. I mean, for Windows Hello, that's a good point though. Typically when people using that, don't you need you need certain webcams that have the functionality baked in. Not every webcam's created equal there for the Windows Hello feature.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why some companies have problems rolling it out, or they just don't understand the technology. It's pretty simple, actually. I use the finger one on my laptop, Windows Hello through my fingerprint, and it's a little bit quicker. But same thing with cameras, right? But like Chris said, you do need a specific type of compatible camera for Windows Hello.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
go ahead.
one thing we kind of glanced over here is with Copilot, they have new commands that are rolling out. So you can turn on, off battery saver, show device information, show system information, open storage page, launch live captions, launch narrator, display IP address, show Wi-Fi networks. So, I don't know, people who don't like to click around in the menus, they just have a few Copilot commands that'll, it might help, IT people too, diagnosing a system.
It's
guess.
a time saver. It's a productivity thing. So, just like anything with this AI, it does save time because we know from doing it, a lot of the stuff is buried into multiple menus, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks a lot, Chris.
All right. Have a good one.